Good day and God bless. Hi, I'm Pastor Brian. I'm a creator's kid, and you are too. I have a gift for you today. Yeah, I'm back sharing a healthcare blessing again. Now, this is honestly the best healthcare option I've ever seen or heard about. It's impact health sharing. I put up a video about it a couple days ago. Kelby Smith from his advocates shared a video testimony from a young mother named Alejandra, and she talked about the impact that impact health sharing has had on her life. And that video has created a lot of interest. People have questions about it, want to learn more. And so Kelby did another video with her, about twice as long, with more information, sharing her testimony and talking about how it works. So I wanted to share that with you here today. Because right now, people are thinking about open enrollment with insurance companies, right? The last part of the year here, as this is early September right now, and you may be seeing it at other times, but as I've seen many times going through insurance open enrollment, I often find myself dreading the higher costs and lower coverage that I'm going to have to pay for the upcoming year. Well, another nice thing about impact health sharing is there's no enrollment period. You may become a member at any time. Now, Impact's innovative approach to healthcare sharing actually unites members, and it's based on a love thy neighbor approach. They provide affordable options, transparency, and provider flexibility. In other words, it's a crowd-funded healthcare alternative. It's a nonprofit ministry with much lower rates, co-pays, and lower deductibles. They even use other terms because it is not traditional insurance. And all donations and shared costs are published openly, and members have freedom, really, freedom to choose their doctors, their therapists, even alternative health practitioners. If you'd like more information, look at the bottom of the screen there and please visit www.hesedhealth.net. That's HESED health.net. There you can just enter some simple basic information about yourself, get a free quote, and sign up for more information. You'll be glad that you did. So you really owe it to yourself, to your family, your business, church, or other organization to give Impact Health Sharing a good look. That's what we're going to do now. I'm going to present once more Kelby Smith from his advocates and Alejandra.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you guys and welcome you guys to His Advocates. I don't do these kinds of things that often where I get to have a casual conversation on something that I believe in so much. This is something brand new to His Advocates in the last probably 3 weeks. We've been excited for the first time to bring forth things that we believe in that mark our dollars with integrity. And what I mean by that is what you're about to find out. We actually are participating with a health coverage company that has better quality health premium insurance, but it's called coverage. It's not insurance. It's old school, but it's with technology that is unreal, that really helps the end user. So I've invited a guest who I was profoundly taken back by her personal testimony about the coverage. And I'm just going to pick her brain for a few minutes here so you guys can get your mind wrapped around whether it's real or whether it's not. But this is a game-changing thing. And if you don't realize what's happening in the world, where these companies like Blue Cross Blue Shield, who represent over 200 million people, families in America, and what they support, you're about to find out. And it's kind of scary when you think about, hey, I'm a believer, and does the dollars that I produce in my life and I pay towards institutions that are committing what I would consider sin, or committing a crime, or doing something wrong to a minor child to affect their forever life because they're 13 years old and they can't affirm their gender at that moment because some teacher is bringing them down a path and they look up to this adult. It's a sad day, but we have to start voting with our dollars to companies that we believe in, and this is one of them, Impact Health. And Alejandra is absolutely an excited, profoundly neat person, hard worker, a mom, and she's going to tell you all about what she's learned about this health coverage company and why it will change the scape of America as we know it for us, and for our ability to save so many dollars on families are paying $2,000, families of four, for the worst coverage possible, and then they get denied on their claims and they can't find doctors of their choice. And she's about to tell you why this is a game changer. Alejandro, I want to thank you and welcome you to my little podcast, my little show here. There's a lot of people that are going to watch this interview over the next probably year or 2 years. So thank you for your time. Your time is super valuable. Can you first just make an introduction of yourself and why that interview that I saw the other day, which actually not just educated me, it changed my mind about how important what we're doing in this bringing this company to the market, not just market share like a 4%. I want to take it over. I want to show people what the options are with Impact Health, but I yield.
Well, first and foremost, Kelby, it's an absolute honor and privilege to be sitting by your side and with his advocate on, what you're doing is commendable. You are a man of your word, a man of honor, a man of God, and it is just an honor to be able to do something collective with you and with your team, truthfully. So thank you for having us here today. Really appreciate that. And guys, I am a mom. I have 2 little boys. I came a little later in life on that game. So I'm one of those older moms, right? Which brings a lot of wisdom to motherhood in a way, right? Tired body, but better mind, I say, than I had it earlier in the day. So I'm an older mom, but because I was very focused on my career. So I went on the banking route. I worked for some of the biggest corporations in America. I worked for one of the top largest international banks when I ended my career a few years back. Loved working. I'm not going to say that I ever hated my job. One thing that I never realized while I was working in corporate was the paying for healthcare for the business owner. That was something that if you are watching this and you've always had a job with the benefits, right, like I did, you really don't understand the small business owner, the 1099 in this country, the ones that work for the smaller business owners, how hard they have it. When I left corporate about going to be 8 years this year in September. So when I left corporate, Kelby, my biggest sticker shock was healthcare. We were business owners, 1099, both of us. We went to pay with a traditional healthcare company. We went to pay $2,700. We had a deductible $6,000, I want to say, per member in our family. So unless we had a true catastrophe, we're never going to use it. When we started promoting through our company and being able to become referral partners of a company by the name of Impact Health Sharing, the first thing that caught my eye was that it was a ministry, that it was a non-for-profit, that we're here to change the way that, healthcare is looked at. But my family, when we quoted ourselves, the same family of 4, we went to pay $628 a month. We saved $2,000 a month. I couldn't believe it.
And you think you're going to get a horrible insurance or a horrible coverage?
I tell you, yes. As a matter of fact, I was convinced that it was going to be worse. I was so convinced that I begged my husband, who has much, much greater vision than I ever will. please, can we keep both until until something happens and we figure it out if it's good? Because I was afraid, because we're talking about $24,000 a year. Now, it came at the greatest possible time for our family because our kids were starting to go to school. So those dollars that we gave to the insurance world, we were able to repurpose and put into our kids' Christian education, which was a huge blessing. They were just at that age to when education started to cost us something, right? And so our quote unquote deductible, and I call it quote unquote because we don't have a deductible, we call that primary responsibility amount, our PRA, which is what you know as deductible, went down to $2,500 for my whole entire family unit. And then
just most people don't realize the deductibles for an individual or for a single person. And you know, this company offers the PRA, the deductible for an entire family. So you get that opportunity to eat it up that much quicker.
Oh, not only that, but then they want us healthy because it's a non-for-profit. So let me just backtrack and maybe just give you like the big picture. What is it, right? So for those of you that are listening to this and maybe you never heard about health sharing before, that was me. It's not a new concept. We're talking something that was open 30, 40 years back when the religion affiliations came together, the Christian community met the Catholic community, and they came together to pay for each other's medical bills. So they would put everybody's money in the middle, and then they just use that money to pay for each other's medical bills. Problem with it was that, and beautiful companies came to be, and I don't want to give any names here, but big health sharing companies that have been in operation for a long time. Problem being is that most of them, if not all of them, are just for that religion affiliation. So even if you not only have to be a Christian, but now you have to be a Christian in this good standing, the pastor needs to sign off that you are tithing, that you know that you don't drink, that you don't do this, and you don't do that.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You have you to be tithing in good standing, right? So, so not every Christian, right? So not every Christian can do it. So what Impact Health Sharing did is they grabbed this old concept and they brought it mainstream. Now, it's still ministry. We still have Christ-like values. It's still a non-for-profit, just like the other shares. The difference is that just like Jesus said it, come one, come all. We're not going to ask anybody, Kelby, what religion affiliation they have. We're just going to let them, come and be part of our share community. And we're members. We're not customers. We're members of a non-for-profit share community where we all put our monies in. They use a technology that allows them to be incredibly transparent. So I can see where my dollars go to. So I can see, okay, I gave $300 this month to the Smith family so that I can pray for them. I gave $200 to the, Polinsky family. And then to anonymous family was $1,000. So if you want to be anonymous, you can remain anonymous. If you don't mind your last name being there, there's no HIPAA problems because nobody's going to tell them what they're being used for. It's just that it's transparent in the sense that I can see who pays my bills. I can see who bills I pay, but the technology allows us to communicate.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. One of the things that grabbed me, and I don't think anything about this impacted me more. I thought, how are they doing it? The direct marketing concept isn't enough, meaning you can't save enough money because you got to pay commissions, you got to, and those things cost. And so I'm thinking to myself, how are they doing? And then the aha moment when they explain the patent that these guys have, and the patent works like this. I'm gonna take a total guess here, but they're using a system much like an EDS, an electronic data transfer system, where the bill goes into their system. They analyze the bill because they're a 501c3. They're non-for-profit. And what they do is they reprice the bill down to anywhere from 5 to 15 to 20% of what the bill is. But it's an automatic thing. And I'm guessing that hospital is accepting this because they're able to take a deduction on the side at the hospital of the loss that they have incurred on that bill because they are a 501c3, which you can't do with Blue Cross. You can't do with Blue Shield. So they're getting premiums or hospital bills paid immediately within 15, 20 days, which Blue Cross is a year and a half out. And number two, they're getting that deduction, which all hospitals need. They're a profit center, unfortunately, most of them. But the reality is when I discovered that, I'm like, okay, so that's my aha moment. That's how it works. So they're using
Exactly.
technology, but they're making it like real. And I don't even want to call it insurance. Insurance to me is a negative. They're making it a real blessing for people to actually have a card. And this
It's
card,
I was going to show you
yeah,
exactly that. So I have a card, and I'm just like, putting my finger on the member ID. So don't worry. So that's my card. And then in the back of my card, you're going to see we're here. I don't know if you can see it, but maybe you can't. But right around here, there it is. It's what's called an EDI payer ID, right? So that EDI payer ID allows us to give this card to the hospital. When they put us on their system, they use that EDI payer ID to send the bill into Impact. Impact sends a third party to renegotiate the bills, Kelby. So the bill goes into the third party, just like you said, and they renegotiate the bills. And I know that this is the same process that the insurance companies use to renegotiate the bills, but they do it behind our backs. We don't see this whole entire renegotiation. For us, everything is transparent. So I can see, for example, I saw a laboratory bill that came in for $2,400 was lowered to $300. They used the right schedule of what things really cost. So for the end consumer, for us, the bill is not $2,400 anymore; it's $300. Or I've seen a almost $300,000 bill for a hospital that they renegotiated down to 20-some thousand. I saw a 36,000 that went down to 9,000. I saw my $16,000 hospital bill myself, and I'll tell you how I used it, but I used it a couple of times, went down to 1,500. So it is crazy how you see this renegotiation, because what opened my eyes was to what are the insurance companies doing behind us. And look, I'm not here to bash the insurance industry by any a stretch of the imagination. They do what they do. Fine, fantastic. It's not for me. It's not for my family. It's not for what we live in. And we want to tell people, hey, there is a different way for you to have health coverage.
100%. So, question, can you explain why they would include, like, if I were to go online, and we don't need to do this, my number is right here. If you want to quote, text me. I'm going to give you our engine. You don't need to speak to us. You can just go onto the engine, check out the pricing. We'll give you a video so that you can watch the complete structure of all the benefits. And if you decide to transfer over, we'll be more than happy to have you. But guess what? There's families with 4, 5, 6, 7 kids. You don't have to pay beyond the price of one kid with Impact Health. Why are they doing that, and how?
So again, how we work our pricing is based on the age of the oldest person in the household, and then the amount of members that you have, and then whatever PRA or what as a deductible you want to choose. So how we do it is we quote you for 1, 2, or maximum 3 people, and then anyone on top of over 3 people will actually just pay for 3 and get everybody covered. The other day we had a family of 7. It was mom, dad, and 5 children, and they paid for 3. They're about 5. They were a younger family, and I think it did not even reach $600 their bill for all 7 of them. So what we're doing is absolutely amazing. With pricing, we do it because of those 2 things. One is a non-for-profit. There is no deep buckets here. There's not a precedent of Impact making millions upon millions of dollars at all. This is a non-for-profit, is a ministry that is coming to fix a issue and a problem in the United States with the high rising costs of health insurance. And secondly, because of the renegotiating arm. So those 2 things combined allow us to keep the price in the lower side. And then they get very creative when they have extra resources, because it's a non-for-profit and they can only have so much in their books. For example, this year they decided to start a pilot, which gives us a credit of $100 to stay healthy. So gym memberships, vitamin drips.
This goes towards the deductible, the PRA. Yeah.
It goes $100 per family unit towards your primary responsibility amount for your as deductible.
And what else goes there is the chiropractic care. This company encourages that you go to a chiropractor. And if people don't know, I'm married to a person that is owned a chiropractic facility, and when you get your mind wrapped around insurance desiring to pay for chiropractic care. And then this one, 50 visits per family per year. They give you an annual checkup per every member of your family, like a physical wellness checkup. They give you a blood panel for every member of your family. They give you unlimited, where you can see a doctor over the phone, like where that would normally be $50 a visit. The prescription services, like, unreal. Even though personally I'm not a big guy into pharma, but I do believe that there are some pharmaceuticals that were actually intended to help people. And they have the best cost rate at pharma or for pharmaceuticals that I have ever seen. And I know I'm missing one thing. What is dental and vision? When is that coming out?
We don't know exactly when it's coming out, but we're excited, and because we already heard that it's coming down the pike, as well as this $100 credit with it, which is new. And by the way, if you don't believe in big pharma, you probably believe a lot in naturopathic and all the other doctors. That's included in the 100 as well. So now they want us healthy. See, the difference is the reason why you don't like pharma is because sometimes that keeps us sick, right? Well, this wants us healthy. Yeah.
Truth. That is truth. You know what? If pharmaceutical was healing people, they'd be out of business.
Yeah.
They would be. I'm sorry. I'm calling it. But the reality is we have to consider that.
Absolutely. Anyway. And so they want us healthy. And so all that is included. I love what you mentioned. I know you said it in passing, but I want to make sure that that they know, because for moms like me, it's a huge help. We have a partnership with MD Live. And so they allow us to see a doctor the same way that I'm seeing you nationwide. So by the way, this works nationwide. You are not stuck to a doctor. So I unfortunately tried it more than I wanted to try it. I know that you wanted me to share a little bit of that. But one of the things that happened to me was that I broke my foot, and I live in the Dallas market. And what should have healed within, I love it too. What should have healed within 6 to 8 weeks took 10 months to heal. So a couple of things that came out of that. The first one, when I wanted a second opinion, I just wanted to make sure my doctor wasn't, missing something. And I didn't have to question which doctor is in my network, and out of this one's work, can I go to a second opinion? I went to a second opinion to the foot doctor for the FC Dallas team and the Cowboys, because I figured there's probably no better orthopedic surgeon than them, right? And so I went to see him because I could really go to any doctor I wanted. So that was one. The other thing that came out of that was right around week, I don't remember what week exactly it was right now, but it was not in range of where I should be able to be permitted by insurance if I had traditional insurance. It was week 12. So traditional insurance would determine my bone to be a non-union, and I needed what is called a bone growth stimulator, which was a little machine that you just put every day on top of the foot, and it would just do some electromagnetic waves or whatever it does, and whatever it did, it actually worked. But it was a machine that I had to put on my foot every single day. Well, my orthopedist said, look, I'm going to have to wait a few weeks before we pass through the prescription, because insurance will not allow it until week 12. So I literally would have to wait. And I said, doctor, let me ask you a question. Do you consider I need it now? He said, you need it now. And I said, well, why don't you pass it through? Because I don't have traditional insurance. I had that machine within the same week, and I was still like 4 or 5 weeks out if I was with insurance to wait for it. So my treatment could start 4 or 5 weeks sooner because I didn't have traditional insurance. I tell you one of the moms that look, we don't cover immunizations, just so that you know, but they're incredibly inexpensive. But one of the moms that has Impact Health Sharing with us, she told me this story. She said that she called her pediatrician, and she said, hey, I want to give, I don't remember what two was. I think she said it was the varicella and the MMR. I guess there's one shot that's combined. Well, I want the combined shot. And they said, oh, wait, we don't we don't carry that shot. Like, you have to schedule the child for 2 separate shots. And she said, well, what if I pay for it out of pocket? Oh, no, you can't do that. You have to go through your insurance. And then she said, well, by the way, I forgot to mention, I just switched my insurance. I don't have insurance now. She said, I have Impactel sharing. Oh, in that case, we do have the shot, the combined shot. So what she explained to the mom was that with insurance, she wasn't permitted to give the combined shot. She was only permitted to do separate, and she could not move from that because she was under the care of the insurance, which to me is absolutely nuts. That is when I found out with that and with my foot is that it's not only the doctor that determines your treatment, it's also the insurance companies. Well, that would never happen with us. We give the doctor full freedom to treat you the way they want to treat you. We would never tell the doctor how to treat you. And so that was another thing. That's another story that I don't think I told the other day, but I just blew my mind.
I think what's impressing me is just, I've never seen an insurance where you get to open a book and say, hey, that guy's the best I hear, or somebody told you this guy does miracles or whatever. And you know what? These are scary times that we're in, because, and I'm just going to call it, and not to, I think doctors can be amazing, wonderful healers. And I also think they can be very bad and unfortunately demonic and do things that are just for profit. And that's just like any person. But we're getting to that point out there where you got to at least have some private coverage so that you can make that decision for yourself. And when you're at one of the majors, you're not making that decision for yourself. You're in a network, and this is any doctor anywhere. And if they don't have or accept Impact will get them enrolled in 5 minutes, and you will hand your card to them and they will be able to utilize it. That is a huge benefit. If you could say the single best attribute or your single best experience, what was that moment when you had your card in your hand and you realized?
It would be so difficult to tell you that, because I went through so many different things. So first, I actually just, if you don't mind, I want to share just some highlights. I can't choose one. The first one was the very first time that I used it. I saw in a reel that apricot kernels give you an antioxidant. Well, I bought them on Amazon. Nowhere in the package it said only eat 8. They taste horrible, so I figured they were probably really good for you. And I went down on a whole entire cupful of them, only to find that they release cyanide. And next thing you know, my husband is wheeling me into the hospital because I have poisoned myself like a fool.
They're really good, so I figured they were tasted bad, so I figured they were really good.
Yeah, everything that tastes bad.
I'm gonna write that comment down. It's so true. It is so true. I mean, this tastes like crap. It must be good for us.
I went at it like they were almonds, and next thing you know, I'm calling 911, and when they passed me with poison control, and they're like, rush her into the hospital, call an ambulance right now. She poisoned herself, so they release cyanide. So joke aside,
sorry.
No, it's true though. I went into
sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you. That is funny.
The funniest part was when this is a story for another day, Kelby, when the hospital put Patrick aside and trying to figure out if he was trying to poison his wife. I'm like,
I've been there. I was there with Maddie. Maddie passed out on the toilet and broke her nose, and I walked in. There's blood everywhere, and the hospital was looking at me and go,
It wasn't.
Yeah, and I'm like, no.
Dude, just get me out of this. I just want to feel better. But anyway, when I got there, I presented my card. You know what? My emergency visit was $150 provider fee. If I looked at my old insurance card, it was $400 for that same visit. So let alone I just had saved, a ton of money right on that second, right? $250 on just that little second.
Right.
And then when I was admitted into the hospital, this was my very first client. When I was admitted into the hospital, the nurse took my card again because they have to repass it again from the emergency room. And she started asking me questions. And when I started answering, and I quoted her from my little hospital bed, and I gave her a quote, she paid a ton less with us than she was paying through the hospital. And she had better coverage because now she could go anywhere. If you want to go to the Mayo Clinic, you can. We have somebody being treated there right now. You want to go to Hopkins, you can. You are nationwide, it doesn't matter. And you're covered for emergencies when you're overseas.
I didn't know that.
You're covered for emergencies overseas as well. So when she saw all that, she was my very first Impact member that I recruited just from her, from the nurse talking to me. That gave me a ton of confidence.
Be honest with me. Did you have your old insurance still at that time?
No,
or was it canceled?
No, Patrick was against it.
Good for him.
Patrick
Good for him.
No, Patrick is not a happy wife, happy life. Patrick is a fine.
Oh, come on.
No, we're not doing that. If something happens, I'll fork it. Don't worry about it. I'm like, all right. Comes from your accountant. So anyway, so then that January, fast forward, I broke my foot. I broke my foot on a Friday. And the one thing that had never happened to me, I broke my foot on a Friday at the gym. So people say, oh, I'm healthy, I don't need health coverage. Because I was at the gym, I had no shoes. Don't do this. For everybody listening, don't ever do this. I put the kettlebell, 15-pound kettlebell on top of the bench. It rolled off on top of the bench, fell on my foot. Now,
you mean the ball? The ball?
The metal ball.
The ball you put on top? Okay.
It has, you know that it has like a little flat in the bottom?
A tiny little one. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. So I
And
don't have like a
foot?
very glamorous stories about how I broke my foot.
No, it's cool. I'm learning right now. That's good.
So like me. Yeah.
So that's what broke your foot.
Broke my foot on Friday. On Wednesday, I get a phone call from Impact. Hey, we just got notified that you have a broken foot. We're so sorry. How you feeling? I never had a healthcare company. It felt like I had a concierge for a health company. Hi,
that's pretty awesome.
How can we make your life better? Oh, which providers you're going to see? Let us call them in advance. So I told them every doctor that I had lined up, everywhere I went. Oh, you're Alejandra. Yeah, Impact called us. Who do you have? We never had a health call. That was my experience. And you asked me that, and all of those little things, not to mention the numerous times that I did not have to take my kids to the urgent care, and I could just do what I'm doing right now, see a doctor within 5 to 10 minutes, grab my camera, put it wherever they needed to examine my kids, and I saved time. It's free. I saved money. So, I mean, I could go on and on. My son broke his elbow in May, and I didn't have to worry about which orthopedic pediatrics we have in network. I put on the school group text message. I said, hey, which one is the best orthopedist? Came to find out that Scottish Rite is the 4th best hospital for pediatrics for kids. And it's right here in Dallas. And so I just grabbed my kid, and without further notice, I just, got there at 7:30 in the morning to have a walk-in. I walked in. She looked at my card and she said, oh, you're out of network. I said, well, I don't have a network. Now, this is nobody understands that. No,
right.
You're out of network. And I said, no, I don't have a network.
No, you're out of network. No, you're out of network.
And I said, well, do you see the EDI payer ID in the back? Can you just pass it through?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you get some out-of-network benefits. Exactly. I said, just pass it through. Went through, no problem. So, I mean, I could go on and on, and I told the team, I'm done taking it for you guys. I already tested and retested this thing too many times. I'm done. My family is done with doctor visits, but it's been a blessing. So I work with purpose because I know what I have.
Yeah. And you know what? Every dollar you spend doesn't go towards anything other than a value of another family. And 100%. You're not affirming some gender sex change ideology. You're not affirming abortions. To me, I'm taking a stand with my dollars in every different element. And I would encourage everybody to do the same. For the bottom line here is nobody's going to budge. I mean, they hear all that great stuff and it's fine and it's dandy, but guess what? It's a third to half of the cost of premium health insurance companies. And I would just encourage you guys, use this number right here, text. I'm going to send you a full video presentation on the package and a link and or a number that you can call at any time and get your questions answered, and we'll get you set up under this health coverage. And you can actually spend your dollars on helping another family versus enriching some CEO's pocket. These CEOs are paying themselves billions in bonuses while they deny people for services and coverage. It's amazing. Alejandro,
we don't have one denied claim in the story, in the history of, they opened 2019, they went through COVID. There's not one denied claim. That, of course, like outside of the
why didn't you start with that? Well, you should have started with that. That's another one I didn't even know.
Not one denied claim outside of the things that maybe don't fall within the guidelines, right? So we don't,
right.
There's things that we're not going to cover. We are a ministry, so we are not going to pay up for abortions. I am so glad to hear that.
Yeah, 100%.
We are not going to pay for transforming genders of our children and put our children in hormones for the rest of their life. No, we're not going to pay for that. We're not going to stand
without
for that.
parental consent. Without parental consent.
Correct. Without parental consent. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That angers me. When I saw on the website, and don't go looking for news articles and you don't know who's saying what. Go to the websites of the insurance companies. See what they pay for. You're going to come running and ask us, how can we tell other people about this? And that's what we want to do. We need you. Why Kelby took the time to do this interview, why I agreed, is because we need each and one of you to go tell the world there is a better way. By the way, no open enrollment. We can help everybody till the very last day of the month for the first of the next month.
This is huge. Alejandra, so much so, I appreciate your time. I know it's very valuable. And I don't, other than the lady I'm with, I don't know of anybody that works harder. So God bless you. And let's hope this reaches the masses. I hope you have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Kelby, for everything.
You got it. Bye-bye.
What an amazing ministry. Impact Health Sharing. It's a nonprofit alternative to traditional healthcare insurance, and so much better. It works better and feels better than traditional insurance. Please, you owe it to yourself, to your family, your business, your church, any organization, any person that you're involved with, to find out more. Please go to www.hesedhealth.net. You see it scrolling below, HESED, which means God's loving kindness. hesedhealth.net. You can put in just basic information, get a quote for yourself or your family, and ask for more information. You'll be so glad that you did. I'm Pastor Brian. I'm a creator's kid, and you are too. God bless.